Let's do it.
Seven.
All right, whenever you guys are ready.
All right. So Jake.
Yeah.
At what age were you born, and when did you start your entrepreneur journey?
Great question, Ben. So I was actually born at a very young age, right? No, let's be for real. So I think I always knew I wanted to be I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur since a very young age. I think since about 6 or 7, no, like legit, actually around that age, I was at the grocery store with my dad and I saw a Nerf gun and I was like, hey, I want to buy that. And he's like, okay, buy it. So I grabbed it, put it on the conveyor belt thing after he had put all his groceries. At this point, I didn't know what that little plastic bar was, right? He grabbed that, put it in between everything, paid for everything, started walking out with the bags like he was just by the bagging area. And I saw the Nerf gun still sitting there. I was so perplexed. I was like, what's happening?
You're like, they forgot to bag it.
They forgot to put the
They
Nerf gun
gotta
in the
put it in the
bag.
bag.
Anyways, and I was like, Dad, the Nerf gun. And he was like, well, buy it. And I was like, I don't have money. And he's like, well, then you can't buy it. I was like, shoot, I got to make money.
That's
So
facts.
literally, like since then, got my brain turning, right? And I started out by doing, I don't know what was first, but because it's a while ago, but I started doing like lemonade stands, literally selling my toys on our club car on the corner of a street. I would find cool rocks at the train tracks and I would take them to school and sell them. Some of them were like literally coal, I think.
That's high margin, 100%.
High margin. I was stealing from the railway. Hopefully they'll forgive me. But
High margin.
for some reason, there's like all these little white crystal rocks by the train tracks. I would take all those. Anyway, I started selling rocks. And then on my way to school, one of my first things that I actually sold consistently for a while was caterpillars. So on the way to school, there was this huge bush, and there was these black and orange fuzzy caterpillars
I know
all
what you're
over the
talking about.
bush, right? And we always made raspberry jam. So we had all these raspberry jam containers. And I was like, I
Like
could
the
take,
mason jars?
no, like where the raspberries come in, the little plastic container.
Oh, I know you're talking
I was like, I could take that, rip out some grass from the lawn, put it in there, grab a caterpillar, take it to school. But first, let me back up. I took one caterpillar to school, and everyone was so fascinated by it. And one kid's like, I got a quarter, can I buy it? I was like, you want to buy this? And
Jake's
he's
like, this was free.
supply and demand,
Legit.
right? So I was like, yeah, you can buy it for a quarter.
Jake's
So
like, I got
he
this
bought
from a
it.
bush, and you want to pay me money.
Exactly. And then he bought it. And then I was like, I think he talked to me and he was like, I would love if there could have something to hold them all day. Right. And so I was like, the raspberry containers. Right. And
Also,
so
25 cents. I mean, that's big money. I mean, that's what half a candy bar back in the day.
that's one of those carameled apple suckers at the pharmacy. 50 cents for one of those things. Or maybe it was 25. I don't even know.
I think it was 25 because you
think
could
it
get four for $1.
Yes.
That
it
would
was
be
25. So
25.
that was a caramel apple sucker. Back in the day, that was commodity. That was the best.
That was how you could tell, like, all right, how many things at the store can I buy that is candy with the amount of money I'm about to make?
Exactly. That's all that mattered was candy, right? And Nerf guns.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But so what I decided, went home. I was like, Mom, after we do the raspberry, don't throw any of the containers away, the raspberry jam. Keep them all. And then I took one, I grabbed like 10 caterpillars, put it in the container, walked around. And because that one kid bought a caterpillar, everyone was like, I want to buy a caterpillar. I want to buy a caterpillar. So I was like, 25 cents a caterpillar, $1 a container, right?
Hey, yo.
Yeah. So I sold the container immediately, and then everyone else just bought caterpillars. And this is pretty sad, but the caterpillars kept dying because these kids are little kids, right? And I was a little kid too. We're all innocent. So
That would
they
keep the
kept
demand up.
buying caterpillars every week.
That would keep supply low and demand up.
Yeah. Anyways, long story short, sold a bunch of containers, a bunch of caterpillars. I think I made like $98 or something like that. Like it was epic.
That is
a
a lot of, I guess.
The bush
I
had
guess-
thousands of caterpillars, thousands.
Well, I know, and having the container selling those for $1, that's got to be big.
Yeah. One girl,
Nice.
it was the end of school. I don't know who she is, but shout out her. I had a mason jar because I think I ran out of containers or something. So I had a mason jar with a bunch of them, and she emptied her wallet. It was like $15, and she's like, "Give me the mason jar." I was like, "Sure." And my mom doesn't know that. Anyways, $15, and I gave her the mason jar with all the caterpillars, and then she went on her bus, and then it was summer. So I think that was my last customer.
Oh, that was a great.
Anyways, long story on that. Fast forward, one of my buddies, he told me, business, right? Money. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Selling things is sweet. So then my next business in junior high, one of my buddies was like, a lot of college kids don't know this, but their mopeds, they think they're broken in the winter.
Shout out,
or-
good business idea.
Yeah.
This is actually a good business idea. If you're like, high school, college. I mean,
and you're
honestly,
mechanically savvy,
and
is
mechanically
awesome.
savvy, great.
Yeah, and you got a little bit of cash. So basically, in the springtime, a lot of college students will try to drive their mopeds and then they won't work. And they're like, oh, shoot, it's broken, right? But really, what it is they didn't drain the gas from the carburetor. So the carburetor is clogged up and they didn't jump the battery or charge the battery or leave it on a battery tender. So the battery's dead, right? So my buddy was like, man, all these mopeds here are so cheap when I guarantee I could fix them in 30 minutes to an hour. I was like, really? And we were like 14 or 15. And he was like, yeah, definitely. So I was like, if I go buy the moped, can I pay you $20 an hour or something like that to fix them? And he was like, yeah, definitely. And back
Because you're what,
then,
like 15?
yeah, so back then, minimum wage, we couldn't even technically be hired. I mean, I had a job since I was young. We'll talk about that. But like 725 is like what you could make. So 20 is like awesome, right? I would text all these people on Facebook Marketplace and they would be selling it for like 200 bucks, 300 bucks. I'd say I got 150 bucks cash right now. I'll come pick it up. And they're like, all right, fine. And I go pick it up and then I would bring it here to my father's warehouse or his barn. And then my buddy would come over and he would clean the carburetors. I'd go buy batteries, put the batteries in them, and then they would run. And then I would flip them and sell them. And I probably sold like
You probably
8 or
8,
15.
10.
I don't know, somewhere in there. I sold a lot. At one point, we had like 6, and me and all my buddies would drive them around, and it was so
That's pretty
fun.
sick. You sell them for what, like 600 bucks,
Anywhere from
8,000?
600 to the most I ever sold one for was like $1,200, and I bought that one for like $275. It was a brand new 1 year. Like I think I bought it. I don't even know what year I bought it. Basically, I bought it, and it was the year past that they had bought it, and it was I felt bad about this one, and I told my dad, I was like, "What should I do? Should I like return it?" Because it was like that one didn't even have a dirty carburetor. The battery charger that the guy gave me, the battery charger was broken. So I hooked it up to our battery charger and it ran immediately perfectly. So I called him. I actually called that guy and he's like, no, you're good. I'm in Idaho at college now. I'm gone.
It's the cost of doing business, man.
And then my dad's like, make money off of people's stupidity, like literally. So that was that was that story. But I loved entrepreneurism, and my mother, she doesn't really like it. But here's the good thing about that. She always made me have a job, which kept me super motivated to show her that entrepreneurism is awesome and I can make so much money and I don't have to have a job. But no matter how much money I showed her I made in a day, in a weekend, in whatever I was doing, she was like, I don't care. You need to have a job, which is good because if I was a young kid and I made a couple $100,
You made
a
800
thousand, if
bucks.
I sold the thing
800
for
bucks, you could live off that for what? I mean, a month, 2
that's
months?
a lot of Nerf guns.
That is a lot of Nerf guns.
So yeah, she always was like, it doesn't matter, like you got to have a job. And it really taught me work ethic, where after school most people are just playing video games, hanging out. I always would be going to work from 2 to 8, and then from that time on I was like, okay, what can I do on Friday and Saturday to like have an extra business, to make money, to show her I'm good, which made me just do both, which is awesome.
You wanted to replace your 9 to 5 at a young age.
And so I worked the 5 to 9.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I was at school.
But
so
you
it
were
was
at
more
school.
of like
your
a
school is your 9 to 5.
It was
You're
more
trying
like
to
a
replace
3
school.
to 7, and then a 7 to 10. Anyways, I was working a lot of hours, but I just really wanted to make enough money to show. And so I did the mopeds, and then one really good thing that I did that made me a lot of money was I actually organized and threw dances. So we started out by doing it with my buddies at one of their warehouses. They did a party once a year and made a bunch of money for that. And I was like, dude, let's do this like once every 2 months. And they're like, it's not going to work. So I was like, well, I'm just going to do it myself. We did one there, worked out great, Droptober. We all made good money. And then I did it here. I hired a DJ that like DJs for UVU, DJ Vi. Shout out that guy. He's awesome. He DJ'd my wedding. Love him. Anyways, I hired him. I got like fog machines, lights. I got like sodas and waters and all these things. And like my best dance was a stoplight dance. I think I made like, it was like 3 or 4 grand that I made in a night. And I remember the next morning I
You're
showed
in
my
high
mom.
School, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was like 16 or 17.
What's a stoplight dance?
A stoplight dance is where people who are single come wearing green. People who are like
And you
kind of in a
you'll get like a
situationship.
wristband.
Yeah.
Like saying your
single.
availability.
Yeah. So basically, like, come dance with me, come kiss me, type deal. And then if you're wearing yellow, that means like you're in situationship.
You're like, you got something going on.
Like,
And
don't approach me.
Red's like, boyfriend, don't touch me.
I have a boyfriend, I have a girlfriend. Yeah, whatever. So it was just a lot of fun. A lot of people love that idea. Isn't that where you actually got your first kiss?
Possibly.
I think that's where you got your first kiss.
I think.
Yeah, He's your girlfriend, so we can't say that. I'm
Don't
just
tell
kidding.
anyone.
I'm just kidding. No, but so that was super fun. But I made like a couple grand in a night, and I remember the next day I showed my mom and my dad, and I was like, "Look what I made!" And obviously, there was a lot of ones and fives and whatever tens, and so it looked like a bunch of cash. And she was like, "That's so amazing! Don't you have work today?" And I'm like,
You're like, really?
"Yeah, I do." Anyways, so she always just kept me motivated to work, work, work. And my dad is very entrepreneuristic. I think that's how you say it, right? Entrepreneuristic.
Entrepreneurial. Yeah.
My father is very entrepreneurial, and so he always helped me with my business ideas. He helped me with coming up with plans, like, and I would always walk them past him. And anyway, so that's what I did. I threw dances, kept working. I worked at like Subway. I worked at Rocky Mountain ATV. I worked at Olson's Garden Shop. I worked framing. I worked what else I do? Worked for the city of Payson, mowing a bunch of weeds. Like I did a bunch of jobs, and they all taught me great skills and things like that. And then getting closer to graduating, I did roofing for one of my buddy's uncle's companies. And then towards the end, he kind of wanted to slow down, and I said, like, listen, I'll take over some of the roofs and I'll do them. And so like I did my neighbor, my bishop down the road, I did his roof, and I was over that job, and hired my buddies who were also employees at the time, but I hired them and paid them. And you were there too.
I remember that roof. It was a wooden roof, which means the shingles are actual wood, and so you get that roofing fork. You grab, you pop it up, and it freaking explodes everywhere. And it is the most amount of picking up those stupid pieces of wood that shatter into like. It was such an old roof; it would shatter into like, literally one shingle would shatter into 20. But yeah, so you taught me. I started doing the curb painting. I actually taught my little brother and my buddy, and we all just did it. We did it a little bit differently to where we had all of our stuff on our back, and like I would knock, sell it, and go do it instantly, and then collect the money within.
And they got fancy.
20.
They started doing flags, BYU,
Yeah, I'm pretty
Utes.
good. I'm not gonna lie.
I numbers. That was it.
You kept it simple.
White background or a black background with numbers. That's it.
Because in Utah, I think it's harder for the sale than
because it is a thing here in Utah, and it was already pretty common.
And Utah
but
has
out
a
in the East
lot
Coast,
of entrepreneurs too.
Yeah, out in like Ohio and East Coast and all that, they were like, "This is awesome! Like I hadn't even heard of this. Like nobody does it." So if you're out there and somehow listening to this podcast, if you're like 18 or 20, do this. Like you can make a bunch of money.
Great business.
Yeah,
great business. But no, even here, like it was good here, and so you kind of had to. Here, you kind of have to sell that you're the best, and you can make their curb look really, really nice because there's a very high curb appeal literally curb appeal, but in Utah, I would say. But yeah, so then I started doing curb painting, taught my little brother, and then when I was knocking on the doors, I was just telling everyone like, hey, my name's Ben. I'm saving up for college, which I was. And then at this time, you were on your mission. Where were you at?
I was in Chile, and then when COVID happened, came home for 6 weeks, went to Vegas for a year, and then I actually, funny story. I'll go to funny story. So basically, because of COVID, like people were getting sent back to Chile, and for a couple months, and I wasn't going back, and I was like, what's happening? And one of my elders that I was a trainer, so you can be a trainer on a mission. You can teach them, the ways, like basically how to teach the gospel and be a good. Cut this out. Okay, basically, one of the elders that I was a trainer for, he looked at me, and I was pretty big. I was like 250 pounds. He looked at me and he goes, "Elder, you're pretty overweight. You're pretty fat." And I was like, "Yeah, and you're accurate." And he's like, let's work on it. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Let's do it. And he was like this 6 foot.
Advice doesn't always feel good.
Hey, it's fine. I mean, honestly, if you're overweight, somebody should tell you. Like I'm still working on it.
You got to have a friend close enough that can.
Yeah, I'm still working on it every day. Went to the gym this morning. But basically, he's like, hey, you're overweight. Let's work on it. I was like, all right, let's do it. He was like 6'1", maybe 150 pounds, like toothpick. He's like, let's run a 5K every morning. And I was like, epic. So we have like usually 30 minutes, 45 minutes to like work out. So we would run a 5K in 30 to 45 minutes. And at the beginning, it was extremely hard. I bought some shoes, and I paid for some shoes, and I was like, Dad, send me these shoes. I need running shoes. Like my feet are killing. I don't have the right shoes. Anyway, so he sent me some New Balance. I started running while I was in Vegas. I went down to like 195 pounds. in like 6 months. And
crazy.
so it was like I came home, like I came home because of COVID, went to Vegas, and it was like one of the first couple months that I had that companion. It's like, you're overweight. So I started working on it. I was in an interview with my mission president. He just kept looking at me and he goes, Elder, how much do you weigh? And I was like, 195 pounds. And he's like, huh. And then he's like, how tall are you? And I was like, 5'10", 5'11". He's like, huh. And then he's like, Elder, you're going to Chile. And I was like, what? And it's because I was too fat that at that time, if you had a BMI too high, if you didn't have the vaccine or something like that, you couldn't go. So because I was too fat, I couldn't go. But then he realized I wasn't that fat anymore. Because in there, he had that I was 250 pounds and
That's
5'8".
crazy. You never told me that.
You never heard that?
Never.
He had that I was 5'8".
5'8"?
Yeah. So I was 5'8", 250 pounds. You do the math. That's a really high BMI. That's bad.
Not ideal.
Yeah. Anyway, so then like literally within 2 weeks, I was sent out. And then right as I got there, it was April 1st. I don't know what year. April 1st, 2021, 2022, whatever it was. I got there and then they shut the borders that day. Nobody else came
Really?
in for like 9 months to Chile. And
That's
I only had like
crazy.
5 months left, but like I was in a hotel room for 2 weeks, just locked in that room alone. I couldn't do anything. Like
No room
I
service.
read a lot of scriptures. You got one water bottle a day. I actually did a little like Mission Impossible. They opened the door because they locked the door. Like you couldn't leave your door. You couldn't leave the room. It was
What
like
in a
quarantine.
dystopian
It wasn't the
society?
church. It was this like the state, like the country of Chile did this.
Yeah.
Like they put you in a hotel and like locked the door. Anyways, but like the door was shutting from when they brought me food, and I like put my foot in it because I was so thirsty. When I started losing weight, one of the big things that helped me is I drank like 8 to 12 water bottles a day, and they were giving me one, right? And I was not about to drink the tap water. So I put my foot in the door and I see them go into like the utility closet. Then they leave, go around the hallway. I put a wedge in my door, run to the utility closet, grab a whole thing of waters, run back because I'm in the quarantine for like, I think it was a week or two. And I run back in my room, put it under the bed. And so I was able to drink water and not be parched. And anyways, that was crazy. But bunch of awesome stories. Loved my mission. It was the best thing ever. And then I came home. And when I came home, that's when I started.
You came home at this time.
Yeah.
I was at college. I was at Utah
Yeah.
Tech, and I was studying business marketing. I already had enough credits to have my associates, so I pretty much just went straight into. My degree. Essentially, I was debating after high school that I wanted to go to college because I didn't really like. I didn't want to be a doctor, a lawyer, like any of like the mainstream careers, but I had school paid for, and so to me it was kind of like, all right, if I'm not doing anything else, why would I not go to college?
Yeah.
Essentially, like I gotta figure out what I want to do. So I was in college at this time, having a great time, and I was just painting curbs, but just kind of doing it part time, like I was in like survival mode. That's what I call it, to where you just have to make enough money to where you're like, all right, rent is paid, my food is paid, I can go hang out with
Gas
friends, gas, and that is all I need, and that is all I am, and that's just where you're at. That's it.
Yeah. And the same time as he was doing this at college, I came home and I thought I wanted to start that roofing company, like I said, but I ended up got my general contractor's license right as I got back. And when I took it, they were like, oh, you're the youngest general contractor in the United States. I was like, oh, that's epic. Anyways,
That's pretty sick.
got my insurance, got licensing, set up my whole business. It was Coop's Odd Jobs. That was my first LLC. Thought it was pretty cool, Coop's Odd Jobs. Anyways, and I started just doing handyman stuff, remodeling. I remodeled probably like 5-10 homes. A bunch of my siblings wanted me to remodel their homes, then some aunts and uncles, then
Turned a
just
lot
some
of
friends.
stuff into like you'll build like a mother-in-law,
mother-in-law
apartment,
apartment, yeah.
and make so their house is rentable and
Mhm.
a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, fixing
but-
up, painting, just did a bunch of things. But I realized, and I was making great money. And it was good. But I realized that I was only making money as soon as I picked up the hammer or the paintbrush or whatever it was. As soon as I set it down, no more money. As soon as I picked it up, I was making money. As soon as I set it down, no more money, right? And I realized like this isn't a business. Like I'm just making good money at it. I'm just having a 9 to 5 of my own.
You
right.
have a very high
paying,
skill,
high skill, high paying 9 to 5.
high paying, non-scalable job.
Yeah, because every time I did try to bring anyone in or train them, they're like, "Oh, I'll just do it on my own."
Also,
and
it's very hard to teach to think on your own and to do everything
Yeah.
a business owner does.
Yeah, 100%. Like
Literally.
remodeling, it was never like, oh, I'm just painting or I'm just doing mother-in-law apartments. Like I did everything.
It's like go shop for all the material you need and build this wall.
Yeah.
You just gotta do everything.
So it was not very teachable, and I couldn't really grow it. And I knew I wanted to grow a business and make an actual company that had a heartbeat and grew on its own if I wasn't there for a day, things like that. So I knew I went to Australia to
Yeah.
visit my sister
Went to
Mary.
Australia.
And Mary, my sister, she married an Australian, and she has her family there. Went and visited them, and I talked about all my things. I was like, I want to have a business. I really want to work with family. I'd love to work with Ben. And this is what I'm doing right now. And she's like, well, go to St. George. Go to St. George and like start coming up with business ideas with Ben. And I was like, yeah, it's not a bad idea. She's like, Kate, aren't you done with all your projects? I'm like, all my projects are wrapped up.
And you have he had a property management company.
Yeah.
Has a property management company where you have
manage all my father's homes that he has. I manage all those, and every time a renter leaves, get a new renter. Anything that needs fixed,
he's got a lot of
coordinate
land.
it.
You sublease it out to contractors.
Yeah, bunch of acres that basically, as soon as a landscaper, concrete guy, someone with bowls, whatever it is, they need to rent some land. When I came from a mission, I started that as well with my father. I was like, hey, can I rent out this land? You get this percentage, I get this percentage. I manage everything. And we weren't using the land at all. It's landlocked. So there was no use for it other than we put horses on it. And he cleaned it up a lot while I was on my mission. Anyway, so I came home, did that as well. So that was making me good passive income. And that was nice, but it wasn't enough to where what I want, right, for my goals and stuff. And so that's why I started remodeling homes. And then I went to Australia. And I told my sister everything, and she was like, go to St. George just for a weekend and see what's up. So I came down to St. George after I got back.
This was a good time.
I was so fun. I came down for a weekend, and I was just like sleeping on the couch and
like
stuff.
literally, like he got home from Australia, finished whatever he needed to do down in Utah County, and then probably within a week or two, he came down. He's like, "Yo, can I come down and like stay for literally the weekend, just one weekend?" And then you came down, and you're like, and I talked to my roommates like, "Hey, my uncle," and I think you came down before, like once or twice, and hung out with us all at like a dance or stuff like that. So then he literally just slept on the couch for that weekend, and then you just didn't have anything the next week really because you had your property management.
And it was managing itself. All the renters were set up.
You can do it all from your phone.
Yeah,
you can do it all from your phone, computer. And so. Yeah, I mean, pretty much he, rather than, leaving after the weekend, you just stayed.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I mean, it was so much fun.
I wanted having a good time playing beach volleyball every night.
Till like 2 a.m. That was
like 2 a.m. And then probably that next week, like Jake's like, hey, I think we should start a business. But I was still like, I've always been taught very, just very standard, like, hey, go to college, get a degree, then figure out what you want to do. But I mean, if you know what you want to do, just do what you want to do. But like that's what my family's always taught me. Essentially, go to college, then figure out what you want to do.
It's what everyone's taught, right?
Yeah,
and that's not bad.
It's not bad.
More education is great, right? I have nothing against education. My family, my mom and dad, they really wanted me to go to college as well. My mom, of course, it's not like she didn't believe in me, but she's like, you're better off if you go to college, right? And that's probably true for a lot of people. Like you are probably better off. You have good connections. You do get into a lot of debt. So if you can do it without getting into a lot of debt, pay it off, get an education, meet a lot of people, connections, like that's awesome. If you're going to college and getting a ton of debt and you don't know what you're doing, that's a terrible idea. That's 100%. Getting in debt and not knowing what you're doing with life is terrible. That's as good as somebody who gambles all their money away and gets into debt. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
Very risky gambling.
Yeah, exactly. So Ben would go in the daytime to school, and I bought a whiteboard. I was in his room, and I'm just whiteboarding up ideas. I got my computer. I'm ChatGPT.
And then I'd go like curb painting after hours of school. And then I'd come back and we'd have some event planned. We're very outgoing guys, one might say. And
we would go over our business ideas.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But before we'd go out, you'd be like, hey, I've been thinking today, we've got X, Y, and Z businesses.
E-commerce, or we can do drop shipping.
We did get a little bit stuck in that mindset of like
Amazon,
the
FBA.
whole like Instagram, like, yo, start this fake business or this fake business or this e-commerce business. But like if you follow a trend, you don't have a business. Like if you just follow if
it's already trending, that means everyone's already doing it.
It's going like it's very hard to hop on bandwagon where 10 million people are already investing all their time. Like you have to be the number one there is just outrageous.
Yeah.
But then I actually never really had an idea. Like for the longest time, I don't think I said an idea. I was just like, nah, but in my heart, I didn't know how invested I actually was in like I was like, I want to make a business now because I was still thinking like, hey,
Finishing college.
I'm gonna finish college. Like
Yeah.
that was what I was thinking.
And I was there trying to get him out of college.
And Jay, he didn't like, yo, you're dropping out, but he was like,
I said, if
planting those seeds.
Yeah, I said, if I can come up with a good enough idea, I can get him out of college.
Exactly.
Because that was my main thing. I was like, I'm not about to keep remodeling homes for 2 more years.
And you had
4 more years.
You had the vision of like, I can grow a company. Like I know I've done this on a small scale. I can do this. I had a very
closed-minded,
or I hadn't. I've only ever painted curbs for myself. That's it. I just had a high paying job and I worked with clients one time. I
closed a $100 job and that was like
I mean, yeah, I closed I remember that one time I closed like $220 curbs on the doorstop.
There you go.
Hey, guess what? I did it in 2 hours. It's $240 as a 18-year-old. I felt pretty good.
It's not bad.
No, but I remember how I felt when I did that. I was like, that is crazy. This person has $120. I remember having this thought. Like, that's crazy. I knocked on this person's door and they gave me $120 to do 2 American flag curbs on each side of their driveway. Imagine. I was just like, I was so.
Fast forward to today, you've sold a $250,000 job this last year.
Yeah, there was one day I sold like, I don't know, $300,000, $400,000 a day. And I was like, Jake, we got to lock in.
I know. He was like, we got to sell more.
Jake's like,
I was like, bro,
you did. Back. That's
pretty good day, bro.
I was like,
yeah,
but I could be selling $1 million.
Exactly. Anyways, go back.
Sorry.
So basically, he was painting curbs. I was coming up with ideas. We'd go over the ideas. We had a bunch of fun. There's an innovation center down at Dixie or Utah Tech, whatever you call it. Should I say Utah Tech?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. There's an innovation center down at Utah Tech that I was coming up with like different like games you could play, blast ball.
You know, kind of like spike ball and stuff.
Yeah, it's like spike ball, but
we'll
it's
create
different.
Those. But that's
you'll see it come out.
Once we have enough money to where we can start that business and then lose the money on it or make it big.
Yeah, either way, I think it's a great idea. And I was like 3D printing, and I was coming up with all these cool ideas. And then I'd meet with Ben and like,
be like, hey, we should start this business.
Yeah, our ideas were good, but they weren't like tangible, like things that we could do immediately. And like
it's like, hey, we should do blast ball, we should do this, but I'm like, I don't know.
There are ideas that
your first business. You really want to select a business to where you can be easily successful,
with hard work, and not like luck and timing.
And not like luck and timing. And you probably don't have 10 grand. You probably don't have, 50 grand to burn on products and this
to make like a mold. It was like 50 grand to like make it
to be able to mass produce some, and it's like
just doesn't make sense when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
So fast forward,
and I'd actually done a lot of research on like businesses like Elon Musk. Like everybody pretty much always starts with a service-based business of sorts, to where client needs something, you come in, you fulfill that client's needs, and you just answer your phone really good, and just hear them out and solve their problem. Like that's pretty much.
Yeah.
And so I actually went to go, and then this was my next idea. Big and upcoming. I was gonna start painting hopscotches and Foursquares for people in their backyards, and I was gonna do some at like Utah Tech on some sidewalks and like stuff like that. And I was like, this is genius. Like I can still.
This is huge.
I was like, you can spend, I could spend 20 minutes painting a hopscotch and make $150. That's big balling.
That's sick, bro.
No, and so I started doing that. I got some clients and I was knocking doors to start doing playgrounds, and I talked to some of my higher ups at school because I had a great entrepreneurship class in college. Like actually fantastic.
Shout out your 2 teachers.
Yeah, Chris Brown and Don Watkins, Utah
Awesome
Tech.
guys.
You guys are fantastic.
If you go to college and you're at Utah Tech and you don't take their class, you should just drop out.
Hands down, best thing I got from college at all. By far.
I went to the class multiple times, and I didn't
brought
go to
you
college.
a lot of the times. It's like, you should really come to this class.
Yeah,
This is the only okay. Sorry, everybody else. I just can't remember any of the classes. It was the most valuable class by far in comparison to.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was my favorite college class I've ever been to.
I think it might have been your only one.
Yeah. Well, I actually did college classes in high school, you know.
Okay.
ALC, Advanced Learning Center, but
Yeah, that might.
yeah,
count.
not quite the same thing. That was awesome.
But no, so I talked to them a lot, and I liked what I would learn things in the class, and then I would actually do them in the real world. Whereas everybody else in the class, they would have some idea like, "Yo, I'm gonna start this crazy thing," and it's like, yes, but like you should really like they wanted us in the class to select an idea that you could actively do right now. Like
Yeah.
you can actually like go start on it.
Start practicing it then.
So mine was like doing curb painting, and I was like, I should add on these services. And yes, I was already doing it, but like it's very like scale, like it's a good business. It's an all right business. And so I started doing the curb painting in Foursquare. So one time I was at Sherwin-Williams going to pick up material for painting a new job. And it was for hopscotch. And I remember I did that hopscotch for the lady, and I didn't think the paint would freaking bleed at all. And it bled, and I felt so horrible. But the lady loved it, and I thought it was the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life. And I was like, "You do not need to pay me at all." And she's like, "No, like I love it. Like this is awesome. My kids can use it all the time." And it looks fine. But I just remember like you just gotta take the shot every once in a while. And because
Yeah.
I was willing to clean it all up
People
for
are a lot
her
more
and everything.
forgiving.
And
People are a lot more forgiving if you're just starting out and you're young, right? If you're some 35-year-old and you mess up, it's like, come on,
Like,
bro, you're
yeah.
35. But you know, if you're 18, it's like, hey,
But if you're willing to make it up, then it's fine. Still,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like
Just
clean
stand
it
behind
all
your
up
work.
But yeah, I remember that. So actually, I go back to the store. I actually got more paint, got that all fixed up, and then I was talking to Brody, and I was just kind of I don't even know. Brody probably does not remember me in any form. He's like ingrained in my memory though. Just this random Sherwin-Williams rep in Hurricane, Utah. And I was talking to him, and I was like, "Hey, can I?" I was like, "We're just talking about like what businesses I should start and like what I'm doing right now." And I was telling him what kind of paint I need, and he's like, "You know what you should do?" He's like, "You should start painting pickleball courts."
Hey, good rep. You're selling his material.
Literally,
It's like this
And
guy's a hustler. I'm gonna
thi-
start selling him some more paint.
legit. Because he's like, he got multiple quotes to get his pickleball court painted, and he's like, people are charging so much, and it's like, it's very doable. You know what I mean? It's very doable.
Mhm.
And so I mean it's hard. Don't get me wrong, but it's very doable. It is. Everything's doable. And so I was like, really? And so he was painting his own pickleball court. And so I was like, all right, I can learn from this guy. He was painting it on like Thursday. I think it was a Tuesday. And I remember right after that, bought my materials and stuff. I go back home. Me and Jake actually live in the same room at this point. Like literally, it's it's a small dorm, probably this big, maybe this big by 12, 14 feet or whatever.
I finally got off the couch. But the thing is like, you guys might be like, man, that would be so annoying if this guy was there. I was the best couch hopper.
You're a housemate.
I literally cooked meals for everyone. I cleaned the house. I cleaned the bathrooms. Like I made sure that they liked me. I was like, I do not want these guys to hate me for being here. Because I mean, I don't think we've said. I think I was there for about like 3
to 4 months.
3 or 4 months.
100%.
But
the
at
last
the
2
end,
months, you got your
the last
own,
2 months, one of the guys moved out,
and you moved into that.
And
room.
I said, I'll.
Probably 2 months, maybe 2 weeks where you were on the couch.
Yeah.
A month and a half where you were in my room, and then the other 2 months were in your own room, right there.
And Ben's a very nice guy.
I'm a very nice guy. Jake hates sleeping on the floor.
I hate it.
I really don't mind it. Honestly.
So he gave me his bed.
And so
for
Jake's like
2
"Man,
months.
my back is starting. I was like, do you want the? I was like, and we're not sharing. Like, I'll share a king.
He's a nice guy.
I'll share a king bed with somebody, but twin, nah.
No, we're not sharing a bed.
Nah, twin.
So he let me use his bed. That was so nice. I was like, this is crazy.
I went to the floor.
So he had a mat. You had like a mat or something.
I had
right?
like a little mattress.
A little sleeping mattress from camping or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, but then you came home. You came back to the apartment and you were like, hey.
I literally came back from the materials. I said, hey, just so you know, I have our business. We're starting. And I don't know what clicked, but he told me to start painting pickleball courts. And then I was like, okay, well, that's what I'm doing.
And I said, let's do it. What do we need to buy? What do we need to get? Because for about 3-4 months, I had been saying, Ben, what about this? What about this? What about this?
I think this is my first idea I had. Like actual.
It was your first idea.
I think this was my first idea. You probably listened already.
I
20,
knew
30
I knew
or
whatever
something.
business it was, as long as it was with you, I knew we could kill it and I could be passionate about it. But I kind of low-key knew that Ben needed to be passionate about the idea since it was like his first time in doing a business.
And
Like
this is-
other than
and this
curb
is
painting.
Also, this was me like fully committing because I'm probably dropping out of school for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I have to literally,
really
I
want
have
it.
to be like, yes, I'll do this. Like, this is my career. I'm doing it.
Yeah. So immediately we were
And
like,
so
what do we do?
immediately
How do we get certified? How do we
we started
learn?
Googling it, figuring out. I mean, was it same day?
Yeah, we immediately
I
sat
think
down.
it was just
I think
same
we
day.
sat
We just
down
sat
at the
down at
computer.
your desk, and then we just started figuring out a business. We're like, all right, what is our name going to be? Jake came up with it.
Premium Surface Solutions,
Premium
baby.
Surface Solutions. Shout out, Premium.
ChatGPT helped, but I wanted to keep it, broad enough to where we could do a lot of services.
We wanted to not be like Alpine Landscaping or.
Well, that's actually a company.
There's like 500.
Okay, but should we say that or really not? Let's just say like we didn't want to be like guys who surface pickleball courts.
Okay, yeah, we didn't want to be so direct with our company to where we couldn't add on other services.
Like
and
guys who surface pickleball courts. Like then it's
guys
like
who only paint lines on pickleball courts.
guys who paint curbs in St. George only.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's why we made Premium Surface Solutions, right? The experience with us is going to be good. You know they're going to get good product because, like Ben said, like that one customer where there's a little bit of bleeding, he was like, for free, like I feel so bad, and she loved it, right? So we really want to stand behind our work, and ever since I was a kid, ever since he's been doing it in college, everything till now, we really stand behind our work, and that shows with the 230 plus 5-star reviews to date. So I mean, we really care about our work, and that's where we got the name Premium Surface Solutions. After we came up with the name, then we started looking up like how to get trained and what there is. And Sportsmaster here in Utah, they have a training, right? And so we went to that training. It was about 30 to 45 minutes. It was more of a Q&A.
I think it's normally 15 to 20 minutes, but we asked about 25 to 30 minutes of questions, and they just kept on
And it's
answering.
for a lot of like homeowners that want to paint their own courts and for contractors starting out. But I really wish it would be more hands-on. There isn't really anything out there hands-on, and that's why like we started offering training to people who want to learn how to do it. We kind of shut that down because we're like, let's build the business and then get that running by itself, and then we'll start those things because there isn't really much training. There's a 15-minute YouTube video, and then
if you want to start it and just start it, I mean, it's literal.
It's difficult, and we'll tell you. We're about to tell you right now. So how did we? After we got our name, after we found the class, we went and got that training. We're like, okay, now we just have to find our clients, right? And we already had our LLC and insurance and all that because of my LLC. And so
we just ran it through there.
Yeah, because
and you were a licensed general contractor.
yeah,
you had
when you're building
insurance.
when you're building a business, do not just immediately. If you have an idea, don't. The worst thing you can do is immediately go start an LLC, get insurance, do all of that, and then start selling and doing business. It's like know that you're going to sell a job and know that it's what you want to do. Get like 1 or 2 jobs at least, and then it's like, okay, yeah, let's make this legit. Right? I don't know if that's legal advice. Don't take that as legal advice. That's what we heard from one of our coaches. We won't tell you who, because I don't know if that's legal.
I've heard it from a lot of coaches.
But basically, they're like, go out and actually make sure it works, and you want to do it, and you like it. And then if it does, then yeah, get your licensing and all that. Because you just worry about all the LLC and everything, and then get in your business. I don't know. Just cut all that out, or no?
It's fine. I mean,
is that bad to talk about that?
What?
Is that actually illegal?
No, I hear Alex Ramosi say that all the time.
Okay, let me just say
all of my teachers. Tell her once you get to like 10,000 sales.
Yeah, okay.
20,000.
So basically, one of the worst things you can do when having an idea to starting a business is a lot of people are like, okay, this is a great idea, and I like it so much, I'm gonna go get my LLC, my insurance, my licensing, everything right now, and then start it. And then they start it, and they're like, wow, this actually sucks, and I hate it. And then you did all that for nothing, and you spent lots of money for nothing. So it's like, go do like upwards of 5 to 10 grand worth of jobs. Make sure you like it, and then be like, okay, yeah, this is legit. I want to make this a thing. Make your LLC, get everything. And so like that, we already had the LLC, which was nice, and I was already licensed general contractor and stuff. So all we did is we were like, we need to find jobs, and Ben had the idea to find jobs on Facebook.
Yep, that was kind of like. That was the biggest thing. I was like, all right, social media, like, where are people going to be able to see
Because you were
us?
posting curb
Because
painting.
at this point,
Yeah.
I was posting curb painting in all of my groups in St. George. And I mean, yeah,
Facebook
I
and
would go, I would be in school and I would sell, 5 curb painting jobs for a
During
5
school.
to 10 during school
And you'd be
while I was
texting
in class, and
people.
I'd be like, yeah, I'd love to come out today. Does 4 p.m. work? And so I would actually close them while I was in class, and then I would go do the jobs afterwards during nighttime, essentially. Just
And you
because
raised your prices too. 'Cause then
well,
you had
yeah, because once I had to start commuting and stuff, and people were coming to me,
Mhm.
they wanted me, they wanted me to
Supply and
come paint.
demand.
It's supply and
They had
demand,
need.
baby. And so once that happened, then yeah, I started raising my prices significantly. I was like $120, and they're like, yeah, that sounds good. I was like, if I'm driving freaking 30 minutes out there, like I gotta get paid.
And you're
for
only doing
something.
one curve and then you get right back. So
Yeah. But anyway, so we started posting in those same Facebook groups for our jobs. You know, we had to get our first client because at this point we had not gotten our first client. So we technically did not do the pre-sell and then learn, but we believed that we could sell a job.
100%. I knew we could get a job. I knew we could be successful at whatever we
There's
did.
a ton of pickleball courts.
Yeah, and so we started posting in the Facebook groups and we're like, hey, I think we actually said like this is our first court.
No, we literally said, hey, we are just starting out in
Yeah.
St. George. If anybody wants an absolute fantastic deal on surfacing, we can get
100
you.
and 100% warranty on your project. If anything's wrong, we'll fix it, make it right. Like
Say we're just starting out. Like we were
License,
just
insured.
honest. Like we didn't want to, you know, freaking cheat anybody out, and we didn't. So essentially, yeah, that's what we did. I mean,
yeah,
we
and the guy reached out. We went to his house.
he commented on one of our posts recently.
He did comment on one of our posts recently. Love this guy.
Shout out Jake,
Jake. He's awesome.
not this Jake.
And different Jake. Jakes are good guys though.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to his house and we walked over the project and we're like, yeah, we could definitely help you out. We went and got our painting materials and
Well, we gave him a price.
oh yeah. Okay. Also pause for a
Should we
second.
say the price?
Do we want to talk about with Jake? Like, because he could watch this. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? He probably
He
love it.
literally saw her. He commented on our post. We said this was our first court. He knows it's our first court. I've been there this year, and it looks there's not a crack. It's not one crack.
That's
It looks
awesome.
perfect.
Okay, let me rewind.
And he got it for $5
So-
grand.
So our first person reached out to us through a comment or a DM. I don't know what it was, a message.
I think it was a comment, and then we messaged him instantly. Set up a free in-person estimate. Went to the free in-person estimate. We both did. I gotta say, I was shy at this point. I was really like,
Money shy too, and like experience.
I did not have a lot of money.
Well, your experience wasn't quite like when you sold a $120 job. It was like
We're
and so
like,
when
hi.
I told him a price of 5,000, was it?
Yeah. So I remember we told him a price, and we were like 5,000. I was
Which for a pickleball court is
like,
very
very cheap,
extremely cheap.
incredibly cheap.
To us, we were like, "Holy cow!" Like,
I don't
this
think
is
I said
crazy.
cow.
Not to the guy, but
Oh yeah.
we were
but
like, "That's a lot of money." Because like $120 job. I mean, that's what you were saying, right?
no,
but-
I'm saying the word cow didn't come out of my mouth.
Oh yeah.
But
What?
uh,
The word cow didn't come out.
I'm saying I was flabbergasted. I swore.
Yeah. Oh.
I was like, holy shit.
I didn't get that.
I was like, what is
I didn't
happening?
get that. Anyways, yeah, basically, you know, I had done jobs before that were around 5, 10, 15 grand. And so like it was to sell this.
You're like,
type of
oh,
work.
cool. Like it's $5 grand. But to me, my highest job I ever sold was like probably $250, and I got like 2 neighbors to like do the sell. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I remember we told him $5 grand. I was like, in my head, I was like, there's no way in hell. Like, there's no way. $5 grand? Who's got $5 grand a job? I mean, this guy does have a lovely home, but
Yeah, and then he said, yeah, everything
he's
looks
like, yeah,
good.
sounds good.
Approved our quote. I'm pretty sure we send it through like a PDF.
We just sent it through a PDF and said, hey, we need you to sign this, and then send it back to us. Like
DocuSign.
we didn't have DocuSign or
We
anything.
didn't have anything.
We just emailed it to him, and then we said, we need your signature here. You can edit it in
Yeah.
different ways. So he edited it, sent it back to us. We signed it, and then we're like, all right, let's do this thing.
And then we got our first half because we do first half, last half.
Yeah, we did get the
So we
first
got
half,
that first check, and we were like, boom,
$2,500.
Like this is business. We could do this. Like, and it was like a week after making the post in the groups that we got our job.
Yeah,
Like it was
100%.
quick. And by this time, school was ending.
And by this time, we had a website, we had a Google Business profile, we had.
And we moved quick. We moved very, very quick.
We decided we were doing this, and we were doing this.
Yeah, we weren't like, yeah, we knew it was going to work. We knew we were locking in on it.
Which is what
But
you
it's
have to
like,
do. If you're
yeah.
going to do a bit, you cannot do a business halfway. It's
Yeah.
just not going to work at all.
Yeah, so we set up all of that Google Business website, got that first client, got the first half, went ahead, made a bank account, deposited into that bank account, went to Sportsmaster, and at this time, I had saved a lot of money
I was poor.
from my from my work and I've done ever since I was a kid and stuff.
I was in
So,
survival mode. So
I already had a
for sure.
truck that we were going to use to haul the materials, and then we spent around like 7 or 10 grand, something like that.
Maybe more, and then the truck, and then
Yeah, the value.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the value of the truck, then it's a little bit more.
yeah,
but, like,
yeah.
Out of pocket money, we
It's
spent
probably like 7 to 12
10
grand.
Yeah, on materials and then tools that we needed
And some
to do
tools
the job.
because you already had a lot of the tools, which is nice.
I mean, I didn't have like the squeegees, and I had like
Yeah.
a blower.
You had like drills, and you had a bunch of different.
Yeah, so I had quite a bit of it. Anyways, got all the paint from Sportsmaster here in Salt Lake area, and then we drove it down to St. George, and the weather looked awesome. The
Also,
weather
our
looked
truck is
great.
not that good right now.
Well, yeah, it
I
was.
mean,
It was a 1997 Chevy Silverado.
No flame. No
Hey,
flame.
It was lifted. All right.
It was. I'm not saying it
Here's
wasn't a
photo
cool
of it.
truck.
Here's a photo of it. It's beautiful.
I'm
love
not
this
saying it
truck.
wasn't a cool truck. I'm
That's
just
you.
saying.
This
no,
was my first
I-
truck, and I loved it. I thought she
And-
was beautiful.
And we ran it into the
And
ground.
we beat her up.
We did well with.
She's no
her.
longer with us. In fact. Anyways, so we go to the job, and the weather looks good, and we go ahead and get started. And the problem is a 15-minute YouTube video and a 30-minute Q&A class isn't really enough to be able
Does
to paint a
not
pickleball court.
teach you.
No.
It's
no,
not.
No hate
It's-
at
it's-
Sportsmaster. Love you guys.
And
But,
without that, it would have been a lot
yeah,
harder.
there's no way we wouldn't be able to do it at all. They were the ones that showed us the YouTube video, right? And so it was a lot of us like reading the labels and things like that.
And like locking in, reading an article, and just like
Yeah.
literally just locking in and just trying to figure out
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Because also, this is something to consider. One, Salt Lake was like 4 to 5 hours away. It's monsoon season. We need to get paid, and this guy has to have his court done before
By
Sunday,
We started
it's a
on
Monday. which now super easy
You
timeline
do your
to
court
meet.
in 1, 2 to 3 days max. Like,
very
very
easily, very
easy.
easily. But it was not easy at this time
No.
at all. We didn't have any training. We didn't know what we were. I mean, yeah.
I knew what I was doing with construction. You know what you're doing with painting curbs. That was your whole
I mean,
background.
neither of us have ever painted a
We
pickleball
never
court and
painted
did
a
not
court.
know anybody that's ever painted a pickleball court before.
Yeah. We saw that, and when we went to the guy at Sherman Williams who painted one coat, or who was painting his pickleball court, we watched him paint one coat.
We didn't watch him paint the whole
We
thing.
didn't watch him paint the whole court.
We literally we painted one coat, and he's like, "All right, that's it for the day. Thanks, guys."
He's like, it's
Have a good
done.
day.
We have to wait for it to dry. I was like, oh shoot! It was the kitchen. It was the smallest part. So like,
And we didn't get a
even pull
pull
a
of squeegee.
nothing.
Nothing. It's
Anyways,
crazy.
so we show up, and we know like the order of what we need to do. I had it written down on a literal piece of paper that I kept reading.
Yeah, we
It was
took a
like-
lot of notes. We had a lot of
So,
drawings and
power wash-
videos, and
Power wash first. We power washed the whole thing. You know, St. George can get pretty dirty, so it's really dusty. Power washed it. Then we acid etched it. Then it was spray adhesion promoter. We sprayed that. Those were easy steps. Then it got to the crack patch, and we had this little thing, a crack patch, and we only had like 2 or 3, and they're like, that's enough to do the whole court. It lasted about like 20 linear feet, and we had like
not enough to do the full
90%
thing.
of the court still to do. And I'm
And we
like,
called the guy that like
I was.
I remember we
freaking
called the
out.
guy. I've got to say I've never been more stressed in my entire life, hands down. than
Every
this
night we
job.
went to bed, nightmares of like messing up or rain coming right as we're painting.
100%.
I would wake up, and Ben would also wake up, and we're like look at each other across the room, and he's like, "Did you have a nightmare?"
We were
We're
staying
like,
at
"I
my
did
brother.
too."
We were staying at my brother-in-law's grandparents' house at this point.
Use your resources, bro. Those people were lovely. I love them.
They
so
are
kind.
amazing.
They were awesome. They made us breakfast. Sometimes we left too early and they got back way too late.
Sometimes
so
I know. Sometimes
they
we
were
didn't see
sad. They're
them,
like, we wish we could see you guys more, but we would be gone like.
and we'd
6
work.
a.m.
We'd work till like
midnight.
midnight every night, and so we did all the steps of the pickleball court.
Whoa, hold up. We gotta say about the crack patch. So yeah, we called them and they're like, hey, you can actually use some of the resurfacer and mix it with the concrete powder.
mix it with this X amount of ratio, doing these things,
To
and
use
it'll
it.
make the same thing as the crack patch. So we're like, holy crap! But
That
then
saved
we
us.
still had never done any of these things, and so we don't know what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
So if you do something, like normally you have something to base it off of, and you're like, okay, well this looks right. I'm doing this right. But since you've never done it, and you don't have anything to watch, and you don't know what anyone's telling you, other than just we're just hopping on phone calls, just hopping on
Nonstop.
phone calls and saying, hey, we're doing this. Is this correct? We want to do it in this way. And so we figured out the crack patch. That was.
got that done.
It's hard to explain actually how stressful it was.
We actually had a JBL speaker and we blasted classical music to keep ourselves at ease. Like,
And we
peace.
don't. Neither of us listen to classical
No,
music.
no,
This is
no,
the
no,
only
no.
time I've ever listened to classical music.
I like Juice WRLD. I like Tate McRae. I like freaking Post Malone. And we're just like blast. And you like
Just classical music, yeah.
You know, we're blasting classical music to stay safe.
And this was me, Jake, and our buddy Duncan at the
Duncan.
time came and
Love you,
helped
Duncan.
us. Duncan's the best.
He's so awesome. And yeah, so basically mixing the resurfacer, we're constantly looking at it. And a lot of homeowners like, no, hey, it's totally fine. It's your project. It's your home. But they're like looking outside a lot. And I'm just like, I'm getting like, oh no. Like, are they looking at us thinking we don't know what we're doing? Because kind of didn't. I mean, I've had a lot of construction background.
We kept a
right?
good face.
We can get it done. So we figure out how to mix the resurfacer. We put it down. We squeegee it. I'm killing it squeegeeing. Ben's killing it squeegeeing. We did great. Here's some videos of it, of us literally on that court. Then we got to the color coats, did the color coats, then taping the lines. Man, that was stressful. There's no guides. There's no, like, literally, he came out and helped us.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is the crazy story. This is actually the crazy part.
Okay, yeah.
We were working the night before, and this whole time it's been monsoon season.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to even tell
We didn't even tell. This was one of the worst parts about
After
it.
every coat,
The whole time it's been monsoon season. So you'd start on a coat, and at this time,
clear sky.
perfectly clear. It is 100 and probably 5 degrees, 98 degrees, somewhere around there, and perfectly blue sky. Within 10 minutes, you have literal thunder clouds running over you, and you were like, please dry. Please dry.
Like
and luckily it's 110 degrees, and so it was dry. But we didn't know dry times at the time, and so we didn't know, hey, how long is this going to dry, and what heat, and with the wind and everything like that, like how fast
messes up the coat. We only had the right amount of materials to do it once.
Yeah,
right?
We only had X amount of paint.
We'd have to drive 5 more hours up north.
It'd be a 10-hour mistake, a bunch of money, and this guy would be pissed because it wouldn't be, which is so valid. Like we've had 7 days. Other companies can do it in 2. Luckily, he got a great discount.
The reason why it took so long was monsoon season. Because
that was
we
a
put down
huge
one coat and it would pour rain for hours, and we were like, well, it's gonna rain the rest of the day, so we would go home. And I just remember having so much anxiety, like, please don't be messed up, please don't be messed up, please don't be messed up. And then we would like go outside and there would be no rain. We're like, we're going, let's go.
Go right now. We just drive back over.
The court. It was dry.
We would dry. We'd squeeze the water off. Make sure to get it perfectly dry, and then drop another coat.
Another coat. Same thing. Clouds come in, pouring rain. I'm like, please don't ruin the coat. Please don't ruin the coat. And yeah, we just like, man, it was so stressful. Anyways, it was Thursday morning or Friday. No, it was Friday morning.
Friday morning.
Friday morning. We woke up at like 6, looked at the calendar, the weather, and it said it was supposed to rain like
Saturday at like on. I think it was like Saturday at like 1 p.m. or something.
Like from Saturday 1 on, like Saturday.
So
Sunday,
we had
Monday,
one last
Tuesday.
coat on the border we needed to get done. We get the coat of border done that night. We still don't know dry time. So in the daytime, in the sun, a coat could literally dry in 10 minutes. At nighttime, you put a coat down, it could take
hours.
Yeah, I mean, it could take
hours.
It could take hours.
You're in the desert, so it's cold at night in St. George. But basically, like Friday morning at 8 a.m., I was like, we have to work no matter what we do till it's done, like or we're screwed and we won't be able to get this done before Sunday. And like I said, when we're on a job, we're trying to do our best, and we will do our best, right? So we started Friday morning at 8 a.m., got that coat down, started doing lines. Had to figure out how to do lines, got them down, got it done right. He came out, helped us with the basketball.
The basketball lines were the hardest part.
So complicated. Now we have everything. We have got manuals, we have videos, we have training. That's why all of our employees, when they show up to your
We've
jobs,
got tools that you put down direct from the hoop, you find center perfectly, and you just run it from there.
No eyeballing. Like,
make it very foolproof.
Our employees get to your job, they get it done right, they get it quick, because we've got training now, right? Anyways, we get the lines done. Like through the night, we're doing the lines. It's going into Saturday. We're still at the job, and we were like, hey, "Are you okay with us like staying here all night?"
Like, is it fine if we let us stay here all night and finish?
No problem. We turn on a light back there. We worked from Friday at 8 a.m. till Saturday at like what time?
Probably 11.
No, because we drove at night on Saturday, so I think we worked till like 8 p.m. or like 6.
No, because did it not rain then? Because Saturday it was gonna.
It was gonna rain. So Saturday, remember Saturday we had a date.
Or Sunday morning it was gonna rain.
We had a date on Sunday or something. Or did we have a date on Saturday?
I don't know. Essentially, let's just say, what time do we work? It doesn't matter.
We worked till 6 on Saturday.
Huh? We worked on 6 on Saturday.
Maybe Friday, like, I don't know, like 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wait, are you counting? Because we worked 30 hours. I remember telling people 30 hours. Yeah. So it was Friday at 8 a.m. So count how many?
It's fine.
9,
it's
10,
fine.
11,
Let's just
12,
say
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 10.
We worked around 30 hours from Friday at 8 a.m. to
1, 2,
Saturday.
3, 4, 5. So 20 hours, 5, 6, 7, 8. So like 24 hours. Anyways, we'll say Saturday at 8.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So
Though
we were-
before we said it was gonna rain on Saturday.
I know. We can just cut that out. Right?
This
So
guy.
we worked. So I think the weather said it was gonna rain at like Saturday night, right?
Well, it was either Saturday night or Sunday morning.
Yeah. So we worked from Friday morning at 8 a.m. all the way through the night of Friday night into the morning of Saturday till like 6 or 7 or 8 p.m. and got it done. He came out. He's like, looks awesome. Here's your last half. Love it. That next morning, the morning we were finishing, hot air balloons were rising in
We
the air.
finished the pickleball lines, are ripping up the tape, taking pictures of the court we finished.
Like this photo right here is that morning. We hadn't
Fire photo.
We hadn't had the pickleball. No, it looks like a desktop screensaver photo. But we hadn't had the basketball lines down. That's why you can't see them. But we did have the pickleball lines down. And then we finished the basketball lines. It took us like literally the whole day. And we got them done at night. And then we had to get home because we had plans the next morning. So then we just literally got the check, drove home, cleaned everything up, drove home, got home at like what, 12, 1, 2 in the morning. So it was Friday at 8 a.m. till like Sunday at 1 or 2 a.m.
Gotta say, that was probably one of the best feelings in my entire life.
Yeah, finishing that court.
Was finishing that court and receiving the check and just driving home. All we could talk about is, even after that experience of working 60 plus hours, just talking and saying, how crazy is that somebody's willing to pay $5,000? Granted, probably the hardest $5,000 I've ever worked for.
The hardest $5,000 I've ever
worked for. 100%.
1,000%.
100%.
But definitely worth it. It was awesome. Great experience. Duncan was awesome. He killed it too. I think I literally have a photo of me falling asleep on like his pool chair in a random blanket,
waiting for it to dry.
No, some
honestly,
of your friends
a pretty weird job, but at least we let him know what was up. You know what I mean? It's like
he just was like, bro, you can stay as long as you want, as long as you get it done on Sunday.
Yeah, he's like, it has to be done on this day, and I was like,
we did.
We will have it.
We did. Anyways,
and I went back to that court just so you know, this year, like 3 years later, looks fantastic.
One of the most beautiful courts we've ever done. Literally, to this day. It's so beautiful, especially with all those hot air balloons in the back of the
looks
photo.
So good.
So awesome. And it's taken on an iPhone. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So then basically after that, we're like, this works. So we start posting. We're trying to decide, should we be in St. George? Should we be in Utah County?
I was like, we have to be in St. George. There's only pickleball courts there,
and I was like, no, there's a lot of.
Jake's like, no, we can do it here, and we have we have more resources in Utah County. Our family's down here, and I think we'll have a better network down here. Essentially, is what Jake said, and I was like, all right, let's do it. I doubt you. Can you hear that?
Nope.
I don't.
Okay, scoot forward. You keep pushing the light. There you go.
Sorry.
You keep pushing the light.
I am so hot and sweating so hard
again. So, that at one point Ben was like, "Here, look." Okay. And I was just saying because I was going to start talking. So, do you not get it? Like, focus up.
That's why I'm focused.
I know. Okay. You're looking at me weird. Okay. So basically, Ben was like, "Yeah, maybe I should stay in St. George. We do one there, and then you're here in Utah County." And I was like, "Listen, I think we can drive to St. George occasionally, and there's going to be a lot more jobs here." And that actually turned out to be the case. And we did do quite a few jobs in St. George. We kept going down there. We did one for a high school. Let's talk about that experience. That was
right here.
Well, where are we at? What's after? What's after Jake to like now?
now?
What's from Jake till now?
Okay, so pretty much after we did our first job, we just kept on posting on Facebook Marketplace, made yard signs, got more jobs. We grew it to where me and Jake were just doing jobs together, got our merch, building our brand. I think we got a truck, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why. I don't know. We'll just lie. Oh, got that out. Lie until your last breath.
Yeah, I think.
We got it. We got our truck, and then we just started getting jobs. Just me and Jake. Jake was always talking about how he was like, "Hey, we really need to not be working on our jobs because the only way to grow your company is by not working our job." But that never really hit with me at the start. I was like, "Yes, but like we can make more money if we're doing it right now." And then Jake would be like, "Well, yeah, but if you're,
limited to how
but it's
fast you
limited.
can-
Like, how many courts can you do? Like, unless you want to work literally 120 hours
Yeah.
a week, which
And I
isn't
knew
that
that
good.
if we were doing it ourselves, we'd make a bunch of money. Like the first year we did business, we didn't pay ourselves a dime. And the first year was 2021, right? Or let's figure out
20
what it actually was.
So it's 2026. We've been in business for
2025,
3
2024.
full
It's
years, 4
2023.
years.
It's 2023.
2022, 2023, because 2022 I was in high school.
So our first year in 2023, when this all was going down, right, 4 years ago. So we had started in like May or June, something like that, and we wrapped up the year. We did like $280,000, and we were doing stuff at St. George. We were doing stuff here. One of the cool jobs we did that year, I actually had a trip planned from before we even like started the business or had this idea.
So at this
to go to
point-
Colombia,
yeah,
with my
'cause-
buddy Parker and Felix. And so I was like, man, I'm leaving. I already paid for everything. Like, I am leaving for, I think it was like a couple weeks.
Parker was a good friend. Parker's the one that got me into the gym. He was one of our roommates. He was the one, I always have my shirt off, like when I'm inside my house. And he was the one that like looked at me and he's like, Ben, you know you look disgusting, right? And I was like, it like never really dawned on me. And then I looked in the
Never dawned
mirror
on me.
and I was like, wow, you are so right. And
Gosh.
then I went from like 100 and
'Cause you were just a scrawny, skinny.
I was
little
just
kid.
a little scrawny little guy. I looked a little gross, like not
Smeagol.
terrible.
Like Smeagol.
Yeah, like a 6'4" Smeagol.
Just kidding.
No, but I no, I mean, I didn't look that good. And he started my, we'd do a lot of MMA together. I would lift a lot of weights with him, and I would eat a lot of food. And I
You're
started.
like 40 pounds. in,
I
like,
I
a couple
grow like I
months.
literally have stretch marks from here to here that are still
And
purple.
people are like, "Oh, did you used to be like overweight and fat?" He's like, "No, this
No,
is
I
getting
gained-
big."
I gained like 40 to 50 pounds.
But it wasn't like fat. Like you got jacked.
I got jacked. Yeah.
Like you.
I was
from
like
what you were to now,
170.
You're a big boy.
Yeah. I went from like 170 to like 220, whatever that is. Yeah, that's like 30 pounds. It was like 40 to 50 pounds. But yeah,
Because that's who Parker is.
that's who
Love
Parker is.
So we were
Parker's
planning
more
on-
than that. Parker's a real one.
Yeah. So we planned on going to Colombia, and we got one of our biggest jobs yet. It was 4 pickleball courts with basketball half courts, and it was in St. George for a high school. And it was when I was leaving.
Gave
right?
this guy a deal.
And so far, like I had kind of been like the lead on the projects, and like I made sure that everything was good and like details and the mixtures were right, and all of that, right? And it's not like Ben's like dumber than me, but I just had more years in construction.
Yeah,
Like, I
and
just
so
had
he would
done
do like a
more
lot of that.
management. And this time we had hired some more employees.
We probably had we had Ethan
Ethan, one of our sales guys now,
and one of Ethan's
and then
buddies
2 of his buddies, I
and
think.
my little brother. Brighton was a unit.
yeah, so
My
it was
little
just the
brother
4 of you.
Brighton. Yeah,
4 of
just the
you.
4 of us. And I was the only one that was really trained,
Yeah,
really, really trained. And Brighton was pretty solid.
He
If
was-
I didn't have Brighton there,
yeah, he had been working for us for a bit. So yeah, after that
So-
first court, we had added on Brighton, and then we added on
it's
Ethan.
my little brother,
and then
yep.
his buddy, and that was kind of our teams for the 2020.
But me and Jake did a lot of this stuff,
Yeah.
and Brighton helped us
Oh,
out
yeah.
with a ton of stuff. But so he went to Columbia, but before this, a little bit.
Well, no, the day I arrived in Colombia, I get a call from Brighton. Let me tell it this way. So basically, we just won. One of the biggest jobs that we've, we just won the biggest.
job.
We won the biggest job that we've done to date. 4 courts, 4 pickleball courts at a school with 2 basketball half courts.
Mill Creek High School in St. George. If you want to check out our work.
Yeah, beautiful court. And I had more been like the lead because of my construction background, and so I was pretty worried because I was leaving to Columbia, right? And I get to Columbia, and the day I arrive, so first my buddies aren't there yet. Parker and Felix, they're flying in later, and so I'm just walking around Bogota, Colombia, and I buy some bread, buy some treats, and I found this homeless guy, and I'm like, hey, bro, because I speak Spanish. I'm like, bro, if you show me the city, I'll buy whatever food you want. He's like, sweet. So I'm walking around with this guy, and I'm just giving him food, and I give him some treats and bread and stuff, and he's showing me the city, and it was super awesome. And he took me to this amazing place where I bought this huge plate of meat. He was like, you wanted a lot of meat? I was like, I want a lot of meat. I think it would be awesome. And it's like 10 different types of meat. It's just a meat platter, and it's like maybe $8, and it literally was just a mound. Anyways, I'm about to start devouring this. I get a phone call from Brighton, Ben's younger brother.
Also, previously, before he left to Columbia, Jake's like, hey, just so you know, you got a lockdown. This next month is yours. Like I got all answer my phone and everything, but like I need you to like you got to lead the cruise. You got to make sure jobs get done, scheduling. You got to sell for everybody and make stuff happen. You know what I mean?
It's kind of putting a lot on just him for one thing. It's only been a couple months since we started.
Yeah, I mean, just for the start.
So,
yeah. And
it was a lot.
We already had this job sold. Now back to you. You got the
Yeah.
phone call.
I got the phone call, and Brighton's like, Ben's in the hospital. And it's like the day we were supposed to load up and like go to that job. And I'm like, what? What's happening? What's wrong? And like, obviously I'm concerned. It's my nephew. I want. Have we talked about we're family? We haven't even said that.
No.
So we should. So we say
We
that
can do
yet?
it at the end.
It doesn't matter. You can just drop it and people could feel confused.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I get a phone call from Brighton, and Brighton's like, "Yo, Ben's in the hospital," and Ben is Brighton.
Brighton's my little brother.
Brighton is Ben's little brother. Ben's my nephew. I'm his uncle. If you don't know that yet, you do now. So we're family, and that's how we go way back, right? But basically, and that's why, well, we've said, we don't do business with family. We've already said that. Like, we want to do business with family.
Yeah.
So they know we're family. But we haven't said he's my nephew. Okay, let me just, basically, so I'm about to start devouring this dinner. I get a call from Brighton, Ben's younger brother, and he's like, Ben's in the hospital. And it was the day we were supposed to, like, start loading up to go to this big job. And I was like, no freaking way. And I was, like, sad, right? He's my nephew. I'm like, that sucks. What's he in the hospital for? But I'm also freaking out. I'm like, we literally have to do that job.
Because we have this job that has to get done at a certain time because it's for a school.
Yeah.
And when you're working for a municipality, there's a bunch of different things you have to do. So
and
we won
Brighton's
this
like,
job.
he got impaled by our tractor. And I was like,
He said through
what?
he's like through his leg
he said through his bum.
Yeah,
He's like, he got
insane.
stabbed through the bum with the tractor. And I was like, what are you talking about? Brighton, he was a little young, so he probably should have said thigh because it was the thigh.
People thought it was that at the time.
Yeah. Anyways, I was like, what do you mean he got impaled with the tractor
That
through
was
the
bad.
thigh? Anyways, tell the story.
So pretty much, and this is funny too because we just hired an employee to start that day because Jake was gone. So I hired 2 new guys. Right, it was their first day, literally just working with me.
Wasn't his name Cooper?
Yeah, Cooper, and there's one other
Jacob.
guy, Cooper and Jacob. Wow,
Yeah,
a lot of Jacob.
We hired a lot of Jacobs.
Yeah, so Cooper and Jacob, and so we do the whole day. It was great. We're working on this court. We made great progress on the court. Come back. We have to unload a barrel that I bought from Sportsmaster that day out of the truck. And normally you can put it on these 2 forks. But the thing is we didn't have all the right tools and stuff. So we had a tractor. We have them with like hay forks on. So really
It has the
stupid.
3 forks instead of like the 2 pallet jack.
But it can still fit a
Pallet.
it can still fit a pallet, and it can still fit like the 55-gallon barrels fine. And so I drove the tractor out, parked it there,
And we're using my father's truck now.
your
Because we had a
truck and
whole
your
lot
tractor.
of paint down there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
did you drive back
I'm not
every
leaving
day?
yet. I'm not leaving yet. No.
Oh, because you said we
This
made a
is
lot of progress.
before I left.
You said we made a lot of progress
On the current
court.
job. So the job I'm working
Oh.
on right now is in like Alpine, Utah. We're about to
Okay.
get it wrapped up.
So you're
And
wrapping up
then
a job
after we
at-
wrap up this job,
Gotcha.
I think in 2 days, in maybe 5 to 7 days time, we're gonna go to the biggest job that we've ever won by far. So we end up, I end up literally like, oh my gosh, yeah, got a tractor here. The truck is here. You got
Forks.
forks pointed up. So tractor here, forks pointed up like that. I park it right there, and I'm gonna hurry and scoot the barrel forward, scoot the barrel to the edge of the truck. I'm gonna pull the freaking
Lift the tractor.
forks, lift the tractor up, pull the forks, and I'll grab it. But before I did that, I just hurried and pulled the barrel forward, and then I was like gonna go hop in the tractor, and so I just jumped off the back of the truck, didn't look back
Without remembering.
without
this.
remembering how close the tractor was. So super stupid, but
Ugh.
I don't know. I definitely didn't think about it, or else I would have not done it. That's for sure. And I freaking land on a metal spike that's like that, and I'm off of a lifted F350 or a Chevy 3500. I don't know what it was. And so I literally just jump, and it just hurts. And I literally hit it, and I hop off it. It's not like it like went through my leg or anything. It hit it, goes through, rips through my meat, impaled me, and then hits my bone, and I bounce off of it.
Pure adrenaline.
Pure adrenaline. I land on my feet and literally just perfectly calmly to the 2 new employees.
They're just standing there like,
they're
what
standing
were they
right there,
looking like?
and they were just like, they're like, oh my hell, he's dead, or like not dead, but just
I mean,
like,
there's an artery
we are
down
so
there.
cooked.
If you hit that
If
artery,
literally
you're a goner.
when I got, they said, wow, 1 inch over and you were dead. You would have bled out on site.
Gosh.
But I remember I would talk to them. I was like, guys, I need to be taken to the hospital right now. Like, I didn't cry. I didn't do anything. I literally just like took a deep breath and I was like, I need to be taken to the hospital.
Ben has the craziest
right
adrenaline.
now.
I broke his finger. Show your pinky.
This stupid
I broke
pinky.
his finger during
It was
basketball.
angled backwards completely like
It was an
that.
accident. I had the ball. He tried to steal it, jammed it, broke his pinky. And he's like, hey, I broke my pinky. And
I was like,
we're all
guys,
just playing.
I need to go to the hospital. Or I probably need to go to the hospital, but I don't want to go to the ER. It sounds like a lot of money, but
Yeah. And we're just playing basketball. And then he's like, I broke my pinky.
like,
And we all are like, yeah, haha. And we turn and he's like, no, literally. And it's like this.
Yeah.
And we're all like, oh my gosh. Because he wasn't making a
It's
sound.
like freaking out. I was like, guys, 100% broke my pinky. 100%.
We drive to the hospital. We go get Betos. But I don't know. He's got some weird pain tolerance thing I don't know about, like Novocaine. It's weird.
Yeah, legit.
Anyways,
No, but when this more than hurt, I was terrified on where it hit because I couldn't feel. I couldn't feel my freaking leg, and I knew it hit somewhere in there, and I didn't know whether it was freaking in my butt or whether it was my thigh or whether it ripped out a tendon or whether I had everything intact. That was the most scary part. And so I literally go into the house. I take my pants off. I look and I'm like, all right, like I mean that's not great, but you know it's in my thigh, and that's better than the rest of the places. And so then I remember I changed my pants because I don't want to get the blood on the guy's car.
Gosh.
I walk back out there. And I tell the guys, like, hey, I really need one of you guys to drive me to the hospital immediately. My phone was dead, so I couldn't get a hold of any of my family. On top of that, I used their phone, and I had some people's phone numbers memorized, called everyone, couldn't get a hold of anyone. And then finally got a hold of my mom after like 15 minutes or something. And also, immediately what goes through my mind, I'm like, what does my insurance cover? And I'm like, which hospital can you go to? Because I hate that. I hate that so much that like certain hospitals, depending on your insurance, only cover certain things. You can go to any hospital, but you might get charged like a ton of money. Yeah. And so I got a hold of my mom. She's like, go to the Provo one. They cover us. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So I ended up going there. My mom came in clutch. She did make it. And yeah, I mean, I remember laying on the table. This is crazy. I was like on my phone while I was getting stitched up, I was on my phone waiting to get stitched up, and I was like, who's got my phone? I need it plugged in. I was like, I need to make multiple calls right now.
Sales calls.
Yeah, because I had things that had to get done that week,
like work.
And so I remember I was laying on the table in like a hospital gown, and I was like, I need to make. I don't think I made calls. I did not make calls. I don't think I was in the mental state for that. But I probably like sent out like 12 texts to like clients and different people that needed a response, you know? And so
you gotta be responsive. Communication's key. Even if you impale yourself in the leg.
It's just a text.
If we impale ourselves in the leg, we will still text you. Yeah, that's better service than most people who have their phone right on them.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But no, we needed the sales because I didn't have jobs for the rest of the week. And so it's like, I have to get these sales, and the customers needed a response, and employees needed answers and stuff like that. So I remember sitting on the table, and I was like, what are you doing? I was like, these people have to get these answers. Like, I'm the only person that has the answers. There's nobody else.
Because I was gone.
Because you were gone.
I was in Colombia. And Ben, even after impaling himself, was like, I'm not going to reach out to Jake. I'm going to let him have his vacation. I'm like, bro, you could have reached out. I could help.
I was like, it's not. What are you going to be able to do? Like, I'll just we can get it figured out. It's completely fine.
W business partner.
Hey, no problem. So yeah, I mean, I get stitched up. I think it was like 22 stitches or something. It was like,
and then you still went to that job.
Ones, and then I was like, well, I have 7 days to get better. That's not good. Also, my leg was so rigid, like I just like didn't bend that well because I felt like the stitches were gonna rip. And so I remember I was like, can you see me if I stand up?
I can move it.
Well, no, just leave it. Just leave it.
All right, that's fine. I remember I was like hobbling. So then I knew we had this job in like 7 days. The court I was currently working on, we only had like one more day of it, and then it was just a big job, or 2 days of it. So we got that one. Brighton came in clutch, and Cooper and the other guys, they ended up finishing that job. Customer loved it. That's what matters. And then, but I actually wasn't working at this time. I had 3 days off. you know?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Who let you
super
have
good.
those?
I don't know. I called my boss. So I had those 3 days off, and then it came like that next Monday, and we had to be in St. George. So I used my grandpa's truck, and we loaded up everything, and I freaking just hobbled around and drove to St.
Still
George.
using our resources.
Still
right?
using our resources.
Awesome. My father, his grandpa's so
Our
nice.
trucks were reliable, but not that reliable to get to
carry
St.
that much
George and back,
material.
and that much because that was the problem.
Because you brought a trailer, right?
Yeah. It was a big trailer, and our normal trailers would not be able to hold enough paint
Our
to
truck
be able to
couldn't
do
pull that either.
4 pickleball courts.
Engine would have blew up.
100% would have exploded. So we ended up, we pretty much arrived on site. Jake's still in Colombia getting literally stung by a stingray.
I did get stung by a stingray. That was the
Similar
worst
time.
pain ever.
Sounded pretty bad. And so then, I had me and Brighton. Brighton was trained how to do courts. I was trained how to do courts. And we had 2 guys, Ethan and Ethan's buddy. Good buddy. Oh, Ben.
Ben.
Oh.
Yeah, literally.
Wow, we are not creative.
No.
That's awesome.
Hiring Jacob, Benz, and Coopers. If
So
you
we
have
had
that
Ben,
name,
Brighton,
hit us up.
and Ethan there. So we get there and literally just start painting the court, start power washing the whole thing, acid etching the whole thing. And I just remember the whole time I'm freaking surfacing this thing. Also, it's hot. It's really, really hot. And we've never done a court on this size. So we're trying to figure out how to do it, how to measure it out, make sure everything's perfect.
Because if you're not fast enough, then the edge will dry up of where you're pulling the squeegee, and then it starts to crumble.
And it'll be thicker on that spot than the rest. And then the court's ruined.
So you have to go so fast.
And so I'm literally with imagine your leg is in a hard case or a cast. Mine wasn't. But I was just swinging it, but you have to keep your motion and the edge of your squeegee identical the whole time. And so I was just swing, and I remember just squeegeeing it. And you have to squeegee 120
You look like
feet
a
at
pirate
the same
probably
time.
on the court.
Yeah,
the peg leg.
Literally. So I was squeegeeing 120 linear feet, and once it gets to the fence part, Brighton starts doing half, I start doing a half, and we had to start wetting our paint because it's freaking 100 degrees. And so then we get all of our surfacer on. Honestly, this court was easier than our first court we did, 100%. Even with everything, it kind of sucked that my leg hurt.
Because we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
We finally learned everything, locked in, got it all done.
Exactly.
And we've done quite a few courts by this time. We did some bigger ones. One of our customer, Ryan Bailey, who did a beautiful court for him. There's 3 pickleball or 2 pickleball courts.
I would say
two
to this day, that's still
basketball.
the hardest job we've ever done by far.
The Ryan Bailey? Or no, the first one.
No, Ryan Bailey.
That one was hard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, other than that, we weren't that well trained, and so it was really hard. But hardest job was Ryan Bailey because he had 2 pickleball courts and then 3 sets of pickleball lanes.
Also, access to the court. We had to.
It's a literal
hill that we had to.
Thing. You drive
We thought about craning the paint in, but yeah.
Expensive.
Anyways,
So anyways, I'm painting this court. Get all of our surfacer on. We start on the color coats. It's going good, but then on one of the coats of the resurfacer, it was drying so freaking quick that we had to wet it down, and it was just I've never dripped more sweat just making sure that our edge was good, and we finally got it down, and the second coat was perfect. We waited till 5 or 6 p.m. because it's so much area and it was so freaking hot. The concrete just with the resurfacer, it's so hot, it just dries it
and the resurfacer's black.
instantaneously, and it's thick. Surface is very thick.
So it gets hot quick.
So then that was incredibly hard and my leg hurt. And Brighton had to do an entire side by himself. And we didn't have the right equipment also. So we were running. This was hard. You don't even know about this. But we were running the paint in 5-gallon buckets. And this stuff is so heavy, the resurfacer. And Ethan and Ben are having to literally sprint to be able to keep that wet edge for the full 60 feet because it's so hot. And then also we're trapping in the water. So with enough manpower, this would have been fine. This is not a hard job.
No.
Just the way we did it and who we had there, and I was my leg was broken, and so that's why it was a hard job. But yeah, so we finally got all the resurfacer on, and that was super stressful, and then we get all the colors. But then to do the complex squeegeeing, what we did is we just waited till 2 a.m. At night because that was the time that it was the coolest, and so if it's cool, you have a ton more time. Well, we did not do this on purpose, actually. We were going to do it in the daytime, but we just kept on squeegeeing, and then it was midnight. And so, which is actually a huge blessing because when we put that coat on, it made it to where, we had enough time, just 2 squeegeers, to actually be able to get everything perfect. Because when you're doing 4 courts and you're squeegeeing everything at the same time, because we didn't want to squeegee it at different times because then the paint can look very different on where the wet edges meet, and we really did not want that. Which honestly wouldn't have not have been that big of a deal if you just selected one spot to have the line go. But I wanted
Or
it
we could have
perfect.
pulled all the way through.
Yeah, there's different ways you
But-
could have done it, but
We got it done.
we got it done. But yeah, and so we worked till like 2 a.m. I was really trying to hope it was gonna dry, so we stayed up till 4 a.m. Actually, I was hoping it was gonna dry, and then we could put on another coat 'cause it was still hot at night. Doesn't dry if acrylic paint isn't in the sun, it just doesn't really dry. It takes
Yeah.
like 8 hours. So we had to go to sleep, and I wasn't able to clean up all of my X board, which was horrifying because it was really windy, and there was wet paint on it. And if it would have freaking blew over everything, would have been ruined.
But you couldn't pull the tape off because it would have ruined the wet edge on the court.
Well, yeah, and
So
I
you had to
can't.
leave
and
it.
it wasn't dry on the court, and I couldn't get in there
Oh,
because you'd see your footprints.
that's not good.
Yeah, so I had tons of nightmares that night. Also, my leg hurt.
Yeah, it was like
and-
literally a week or two after you had got
yeah, it was like
impaled.
probably 7 to 10 days after.
I think my trip was only a couple weeks because on my way back,
On your way back, you literally.
I think I flew into Vegas
I
and
think
then
you flew in.
drove.
Yeah, you flew in from Vegas,
And then
and
drove.
you drove through St. George, and you
'Cause
actually helped us finish that
Yeah, I
project.
showed
at
up
the
when
end.
we were finishing it, and there was one little thing we had to
There was
fix.
one little mistake.
Which we fixed it, right? 100%.
that
We
was
want to
horrible.
when we do your court, we're gonna do it right. So we fixed
But
that.
we pretty much just mismeasured a playing court. We got it all fixed, but that was incredibly stressful.
We also did break the window of my father's truck,
but fixed
but
it.
we fixed it.
But
brand new
yeah, so we
window.
got that job all done, got paid for it, set up all the equipment. That paycheck felt fantastic because it was done, and it was like
That was a big job.
it was a big job too.
That was our
Yeah.
up to that date. That was now the biggest job.
We did, and we underbid it a decent, but like still for a good price.
Not on purpose. I don't think we knew the price, did we?
I really wanted to win it.
But did we know the price the other
No,
people?
no, we didn't know it.
We
But
just
like,
gave our price, and it ended up being like I think $5,000 cheaper or something like that.
yeah, it was like $3 to $5 cheaper, but I think we got it for $17,000 to $19,000 or so, which actually is not bad.
And in
They didn't get work.
2024, we didn't. This was a mistake. This was not on purpose. Just you don't know what you know until you know it, right? Anyway, I don't know if I said that right. You don't know what you don't know until you know
You
it.
don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
Until you know
basically
it.
type
Yeah.
type deal.
Until you know it.
So basically, we didn't run any ads. No.
Posted in Facebook groups are
Yeah,
free.
Facebook groups and like the natural like putting out yard signs and door hangers, business cards, stuff like that. But we didn't do any Meta ads, any Google ads, like anything like that. So I told Ben, I was like, bro, we need to sell. And
We also
one
didn't
thing,
have very much money at this time.
No, so we
were-
didn't
were
have
definitely
thousands.
cash poor.
Yeah, we didn't have
We
thousands because
reinvested
we kept
everything
buying.
at this point.
We kept buying more trucks, more tools, more equipment.
Materials. We had a crew here, crew there.
Yeah.
We had to make stuff happen.
Yeah, like it was like, Ben, are we gonna be able to make payroll, which was only like $2 or $3 grand, and now we have payrolls of like 50,000 during the busy months and stuff. So like it would be like $4 grand. I'm like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna pay this payroll? And like Ben would sell his job last second, and then we'd do it, and it was great.
Just make things happen.
But
but
what I was gonna say is one thing that's awesome about Ben is because he grew up with a family that was like go to college and do this and always have a job and stuff. What that did is Ben's brain wasn't in the entrepreneurial world, where mine has always been influenced by my uncles and my father and my brother, right, in the entrepreneurial world. So I was in this bubble of like beat the competition, be better than the competition, out advertise the competition. And Ben was like, wait, why don't we work with the competition?
I heard if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
He's like, why don't we just work for the competition and say, hey, give us all your work.
The problem is that following week, we didn't have any courts, nothing,
Mhm.
and we had either 2 or 3 crews at this time, and we were very good at doing courts at this point. We were
Getting them done quick.
and we could get them done effectively, efficiently, and my guys just wanted to work. And so I literally just picked up a phone, and Jake had that conversation with me, and things just click in my brain, and they click. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like that
Once
makes
you
so
know.
much sense, yeah. And so Jake sat me down and was like, hey, just so you know, this is your business. Like, literally take care of it and make sales, make it happen.
I was like, this is our baby. We're taking care of it together, but we've got another baby now. And I'm taking care of this
We
one.
are-
And it has a lot of
We're
dirty diapers.
drowning.
It has a lot of dirty diapers. And Premium needs food, and it has no food.
Starving baby.
You need to get Premium food, or that baby's going to die.
It sounds
And-
like a joke. This is actually how
No,
we
we
talk.
taught this at Utah Tech. We actually one of
My
the,
entrepreneurship teacher asked us to come back and teach the class, and that's literally what we did.
that's
We
like the best way to
recorded.
talk about a business if you have a business partner. Is like you're literally like a married couple and you're taking care of like an infant baby. And like if you're taking the cash, which is like the milk, if you're taking the milk from the baby, that baby can't grow. If you're taking the cash from your young business, your business is not going to grow. Like the first 2023 didn't pay herself a dime. 24 didn't pay ourselves a dime. Maybe like 10 grand, I think.
No, I think we paid ourselves like 20 grand.
Maybe 10, 20 grand. But like literally like not
I
much.
remember feeling big balling with that. I was
Okay.
like, that's
well,
nice.
for me, it wasn't much because
I
my
have
other
very low expenses.
my property manager was making me a lot more than that, so it wasn't
Yeah,
like
that
anything
sucks.
crazy. So, but yeah, we explained it like that, and it is like that. Like you have to take care of it. And I was like, Ben, this business, this baby needs food, and so because his brain isn't like in that of like beat the competition, be better than them. He's like, let's just. I'm gonna call all the competition, all the landscapers, all the other court people, everyone, home builders, and just say like, hey, I want to be your guy. These are our pricing. Here's our 100% guarantee. We can get your court. We can get on your court
Pay me
within
after
a
the
week.
project because there's a lot of scammy subcontractors.
At
like,
this point, a huge company, won't say their name, but a huge company did go under and they had scammed people for millions of dollars. So yeah, at this point, right, where Ben's calling contractors, you like looked up a Doppel list of every contractor in the state of Utah,
well,
right?
first I went through literally just all, like I didn't have jobs. I just went to Google. I went to pickleball court companies near me. I was like, I bet you money people have too many jobs right now that they can't get done. And
Or
I
they don't
literally-
like having employees.
or they don't like having employees. So I just called. I mean, I probably only called for like 3 weeks,
But like
but
8 to 10
I probably
hours
called
a day.
8 to 10 hours a day. And I just called and said, hey, my name's Ben. Like, we're looking for partners. I'd love to do your stuff. Like, if you like, here's my matrix. Like, I'll do it for X amount. You sell the project, you make money on it. Like, that was pretty much my speech. Like, hey, you sell a job. I want to make sure you make money on it, and you won't have to do anything for it.
And you won't have to have
It
employees.
was a little bit more complex than that,
And
but
we have the warranty to where if anything's wrong, we fix it instead of your employees messing up over and over and over. And they're like, yeah, dude.
and then I was hoping to find a few individuals that were having problems with their current employees, and they were like, this is hell. And I was going to go in there and just be able to do all of their work. And we are great. We're the best. And so, yeah, and that's what we did. And that's literally, we did about 1.1 million in revenue,
Mhm.
roughly.
And at this point, one other huge thing that helped us grow quick was there was a company that went under and they had overpromised and they had way too many jobs. And they were like, they would start on a job and then
They had like hundreds of jobs. When they went
Hundreds of
under,
open
hundreds of
jobs.
open pickleball court full builds. Because wherever, let's say you're at $35,000 for a pickleball court, they're at 24,000.
they were underbidding everyone, so they're getting everything, but they're not doing anything. And
They-
it became a huge
They
problem.
robbed Peter to
for a
pay
lot of-
Paul, essentially.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. Like they wouldn't have money to pay for a job, so they go sell another one, use the money from that, and they wouldn't have money on that one. Anyways, and they would like start a job, like just surfacing alone. Like I'm not even talking full build. They did do a lot of full builds, but just surfacing alone, they'd start it, and then it would be a year, 2 years. The longest one was like I think 2.5 years.
I remember
3
the
years.
customer, Kevin Frey. He's a really good guy, and his boy was playing. His boy loves playing basketball. He's on the high school team. He's literally going to graduate this year, and he paid this company to do it over 2 years. 2 years ago.
So his son could practice.
So his son
basketball
could
at the house.
practice basketball while being on the high school team. And I remember he called us because we were located really close to him. And he called us and he's like, did I say Kevin Frey?
You did.
Okay, you want to bleep out the last
I got it.
last name?
I got it.
I mean, you could say Kevin. I think that's fine.
Yeah, just say Kevin.
Oh, fetch. Where was I at the last part?
He saw we were local.
2 years later.
Yeah. He saw we were local. He called me and he was like, "Hey, I went to this company. I don't think they're gonna give me my money back, and I don't think they're gonna do it. I've been getting pushed off every single week for the past 2 years. When do you guys think you could be able to get started on it if I went with you guys?" And I was like, I think it was like a Wednesday, and I like, just give me 1 second. Looked at my computer and I was like, I could probably get started Friday morning, but to be really safe, I could get started Monday morning for you and have it done by Tuesday. He goes, are you joking? And I was like, no, like this is 2 days, like 100%, like 100% guarantee.
Super
Here's
easy
our 80 reviews. Like I'll get you taken care of, like 100%. I went out there met him in person. He's like, can I do like a smaller down payment? I was like, dude, you're good. I was like, just don't give me any down payment. I'll get it all done for you in 2 days. You can pay me at the end.
And he was
Um,
like, what?
He's like, really? Because he's been scammed multiple times from this company to where they say, all right, give us a little bit more money and we'll come out there and finish your
We'll
job.
get there.
Give us 75% of the job. Give us 80% of the job. We'll come and finish it. So I was like, dude, you're good. Like, just pay me at the end. Like, it's fine. I get it. Like,
I feel bad
that's-
about that. That sucks.
that's-
Trying to like build back the name of like a pickleball court company because like that sucks, and that happened to a lot of people.
Tons.
And so we did his job. He loved it.
Got multiple referrals
And
from
he,
it. The
paid out.
job actually is beautiful. We'll put it right here.
Yeah, literally, this was a tactic we used because there were so many of these people reaching out, and they're like, like the first half thing, it's so sketchy. And we're like, honestly, like, I understand that's so unfortunate what happened.
Or we would do it once we actually got, like,
Like,
we've got
we
the
were there.
materials there, leaving the materials there, get started on it. And we're like, we do need first half because we also don't want to get scammed. I know
Yeah.
I'm not going to scam anyone. And like, but we would do it once we're like, after the first or second coat's on, you can give us the
But it
first
really
half.
built our name because a lot of these customers that got scammed by this company knew each other. And so really quickly the word spread like, yo, Premium Surface Solutions are going to get your job done in like 2 days. And 100% looks awesome. They're super awesome. They're great guys. And so that spread us really quick. That was a huge benefit. And it was able to spread because customer service is top priority. How you feel about your project, how you like your project. Once we finish, you walk it with us.
Quite a good time to get into the.
Yeah, it was a perfect time. We didn't even know about it, but
Some
that
call
was
it luck.
huge.
I call it dedication.
Amen. Yeah, it's oh, you got lucky. It's like no, we were working hard, and that happened to happen, and we were in the right.
Well, also
position.
my entrepreneurship teacher, Don Watkins, he would always say that he'd go, "You will be surprised how lucky you will get consistently, working aggressively, 16 hours a day."
Yeah, I know.
He's
love that.
you will see your luck increase tenfold. And I was like,
Your luck
"Yep."
will increase consistently as you work harder consistently, or something like that.
Yeah,
I love that. But yeah, basically that year I ran Sam. I sold like a little under $1 million. Ben sold like $1.2 million. So we did like 2.2 million or something like that. And it was a great year. It was awesome. And
paid ourselves a little bit that year.
Yeah, paid ourselves a little bit. Paid off what we bought Sam for. We bought a bunch of trucks. This year we got a bunch more employees. Sorry if I missed all your names, guys. But we got our teams grew to probably 10, maybe 12, 14 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we've grown our teams a lot, right? And then we come into 2025. And coming into 2025, we really were like, what can we do this year to like level up? And literally it was like marketing. Like you got to do marketing. And I've always been super adamant about like, we got to be filming everything and posting on social media. So like starting day one, all those videos, if you followed us since day one, all those videos you see, I edited. If they're not that beautiful, I didn't edit them. But if you think they look good, I did edit them. Anyway, so like I filmed them, edited them, scripted them. Like we really social media. We want to show all of our clients. We want to show you guys our projects and what we've done because it is awesome and it's great work and it's beautiful and we do a really
Also,
good
it's like if
service.
you don't show it, how are people gonna know? Like think
Exactly.
about it logistically.
Yeah, and it's so crazy how far we've come. Like literally our first year, our office was my living room in my apartment, right? And we had 2 desks
Yeah, I lived there
to
too.
there, yeah, in our apartment.
Yeah.
And then the next year, we rented out my father's big warehouse, and our office was downstairs, and there was dust getting on our desks every morning. Like literally, you'd have to wipe it all off.
It's pretty horrible.
And now we're in this nice office that we've remodeled up here in the loft, and we've built this and
And air conditioning.
air conditioning, no flies.
When
I
you're
mean,
working in the barn and it's like 100 degrees, and you're typing your
it
computer.
was bad.
It's not that
It was
good.
really bad. So yeah, it's awesome how far we've come and how much we've grown and how fast we're growing, and we don't look to slow down. We're going to keep building our teams. We're going to keep building our operations. Our customer service is going to keep improving. We really hope to get more 5-star reviews of projects. We love hearing from our customers. We love
We're going
hearing
to
from
get
you
more of the
guys.
best installers in the world.
Yep, quick jobs, good communication. We're just improving all of it. Like this year, we went to Alex Ramosi. We went to his class, or what would you call it? We went to
The scaling workshop.
his scaling workshop, and it was a good investment. It was $10K, and one of the best things we learned is focus on the task at hand. Every business, if you're doing 100 grand a year or doing 100 billion a year, you have thousands of dumpster fires everywhere, but you have multiple big bomb fires. And if you're trying to put out all the fires at the same time, your company's gonna burn
You're
down.
cooked.
If you can put down the biggest fire first and figure out what's your biggest constraint, that's what they called it, your biggest constraint, and then fix that and then move on, that's the best thing you can do. And so like with us, our biggest constraint in 2025 was our salesmen and us including, we would sell the project and have to manage the project and keep selling other projects and keep managing those projects.
Like I did that for probably two
Two to 3 million.
2 to 3 million. And you helped me out with quite a few of those projects
Yeah.
and stuff. And when you're selling a project and you also have to manage it, making sure that customers having the best experience, it is incredibly.
And you also
difficult.
can't like excel in one thing because you can't like you don't have enough time in the day to call back all your past clients and try to close the ones that you weren't able to get, closed on site. And you don't have time to like just do all the things you need to do in sales or do all the things you need to do in project management. So our biggest constraint was we needed to get a project manager. And so in 2026 we'll have a project manager that's dedicated to the jobs.
And our
Only
we had
two.
two constraints. We
We
needed
did.
shout out Jamessa
Behind the
He's
camera,
behind the camera
right here.
We needed a social media manager in house to be able to really level up and to show you guys exactly what we're doing. Like our whole thing is transparency. So you can literally see by this year, you'll be able to see exactly how we build our courts from start to finish. And
Yeah.
like some people might think, like I've had people like, well, then competitors are going to know you to do it. I'm like, good. At least my competitors can do the court right.
Yeah.
Like it's completely fine. I have no problem with just doing everything so good, being the best, and showing everybody exactly how to build a court, exactly how to do resin rock, exactly how to do coatings, exactly how to do everything, to where there's no doubt in our client's mind that it's like, yes, I'm going to be taken care of. Like last year, we made a huge mistake. We were working on a job, and essentially we had our crew working on the job, and we pretty much made like a spaghetti bowl to where all of the edges on the concrete, well, probably the worst mistake we've made so far. I would say so.
100%.
Definitely the most expensive one.
It was not a flat 1 to 2% court. It was a bowl. It was literally like 2 inches of water in the middle. It was terrible. We thought we could fix it by filling it up with like crack patch and
just
all this stuff. Spent
stupid.
too much money and wasted a bunch of time. And we feel bad for the customers that we did take some of their time away from having their court. But at the end of the day, we ripped out the whole thing, put down a beautiful brand new court and a little extra pad, as well as redid their landscaping because their landscaping was done. So redid the landscaping all the way out, so all of our tractor marks and stuff were gone.
And made sure, and they were able to use their court their whole time. Like it's pretty much, it's not a bowl; it's just perfectly flat.
Yeah,
and if any concrete is perfectly flat outside and it doesn't have anywhere to run to, it just goes on top of it. And that was the problem. That's what we thought we fixed, but then after winter we didn't. So we just redid the entire thing. It probably cost us $30,000 to $50,000
Big
in
mistake.
mistakes. But like client, at least we got them good. Their court looks fantastic, and it does now. Didn't charge them anything additional. And yeah,
it was 100% our fault. Our work, will stand behind it 100%. And really, like this year in 2026, what we're going to double down on is showing you guys our content, right? We're going to be posting 5 to 6 times a week, different projects, so you can see all the stuff we're actually doing. This last year, we had a lot of projects you weren't able to see. I wish you could have. But we're going to be posting a lot more. We're going to be posting on our personal pages, just showing and documenting like our whole process of growing our company. And we'd love to show you guys and be transparent with our customers, who we are, what we're doing here, and the work we stand behind. Like Ben said, losing 50 grand on that project, that was a big slap in the face, but we 100% will stand behind our work. If something's done wrong, we do it right. And if you look at our reviews,
double check, triple check, quadruple check.
If you look at our reviews, you can see a lot of it. If you look at our social media, we've got a lot of testimonials where, not a lot, we have a few testimonials where there was a little problem and they were like, they fixed it immediately. And I was so blown away because other contractors would have fought about it and would have said, that's not an issue and all this stuff. Like one court had a slight little curve at one of the lines on the edge. And it just how happened, we couldn't just fix it by touching it up. We had to redo the whole thing. And immediately I was like, yeah, we'll redo the whole court. And he was like, really? Like, that's so amazing.
Well, it's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
Has to be
right?
perfect.
And so 2026, we're locking in with ourselves and our customer service. We're going to be able to get you guys your quotes even faster. We want to improve that time. Normally it's on site. There's sometimes it's not if it's a little complicated. We want to be able to get to your projects faster by getting more crews and more high quality trained crews so that we can get your jobs done even faster than they already are. Everything we're just looking to improve, and that's why we've hired in-house social media. That's why we're hiring a project manager, and we're hiring more salesmen so we can get to your quote in like same day, next day, 2 days, at max. Everything we want to do, we want to level up the customer service experience, because in construction there is not very much customer service. Nobody's answered the phones. Nobody really cares. And in my opinion, I've called companies trying to get numbers and nobody answers the phone.
And the amount of times that we've been told that there's no customer service, it speaks for itself.
Yeah. So we're really trying to change the market, especially in the pickleball, basketball, tennis court area of full construction. And so we're super excited for 2026. We're excited to hit our goal of 10 million. We're going to document the whole process of it on our personal pages of how and what we're doing to get to our goal. And yeah, so if you want to see this, if you want to see Premium Surface Solutions grow, follow along and subscribe. Yeah, I think that's a wrap.
It's great.
What were you going to say? You were holding a question.
Oh, I was just gonna say, this is really, it's just for like SEO and AEO purposes instead of social media. Like, let's say content strategist.
Content strategist.
Yeah,
Okay.
because like part of it too is just like if we're just doing social media, it's not gonna. It's I don't know the perfect way to explain it. Like if we're just saying social media, that could mean 100 things. If we're like, no, our company has a strategy for what we're doing with marketing.
You're our content strategist. That also sounds way more badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I'll say it. So we're really in 2026. We're really locking in on our systems. We also hired a content strategist to go over all of our media, our marketing, so we can get out to you, get in front of you guys, and you can have the best quality company come do your work.
Shout
Right.
out Jamessa.
Yeah, our 5-star reviews speak for themselves. We have 230 plus 5-star reviews. All of our social media presence, our Instagram, our Facebook, all of that speaks for itself, showing the quality of work we do and the amount of work we do. So if you need anything like this, a court, anyone you know who needs any landscaping needs, a pickleball, basketball, or tennis court, reach out to us. We'll get it done for you. Super excited for 2026. I think we've had a great last 3 years.
100%.
This is the start of our 3rd full year, but technically the 4th year we've been in business. So it's been going by fast and it's been fun. I've had a lot of fun.
Very fun.
And we've got a lot of, we get cool hats, we get cool hoodies. If you guys want one, reach out. We could give you one for a good price. We could have nice things like this. Ben got me this for Christmas, really cool things that we get to do. That's nice office. And it's been really lovely working with all of you guys. And we really appreciate everyone who follows along and supports and likes and comments. So yeah, share it with your friends. Share this video. Hopefully you loved it. And that's a wrap.
Peace.
Good.
It's lit.